right there at spectacular SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Today, a good matchup here in the AFC. It's the Houston Texans and the LA Chargers.
Give it up for your Los Angeles Chargers.
Mike Tirico and Greg Olsen on hand as Cameron Dicker is set to kick things off. Off we go from SoFi Stadium. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. So out come the Houston Texans, and Greg, it is one of the good quarterbacks in the league. Offensive Rookie of the Year, #2 pick in that 2023 draft. Year 3 for C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State.
Think back to a couple years ago, he's the 2nd overall pick. He's the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Going into year 2, Mike, I think the expectations were that he was going to blow up onto the scene and be MVP-type quarterback. The team as a whole took a little bit of a step back, and so did CJ. So I think going in, they're motivated. I think they want to recapture a lot of the magic from CJ Stroud's rookie year and now see, okay, in year 3, with the pieces he has around him, they think the sky's the limit.
Nice job here by the defense. Did a good job just covering up everything for the most part. So once this ball was caught, really didn't have much of a choice but to just head out of bounds and pick up a modest gain.
They'll run it, and it's the USC man, Woody Marks. And he'll get this to about the 36-yard line. Dayon Henley there on the tackle.
And while that run wasn't anything really to write home about, what it allows them to do, Mike, is keep everything in the playbook at their disposal. 3rd and short, now it's up to these coaches to dial up their best short yardage play and extend this drive.
They'll go with the sneak. And that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
I don't want to take anything away from the quarterback here, Mike. He did a nice job picking up that first down. But this play is won or lost by the big guys up front. They're the ones who need to get off the snap on time, get leverage on the defender, and create the space needed for the quarterback to pick up the first down.
On the bootleg, it's Stroud. That's to the right side, and incomplete. Nico Collins was the intended receiver there. And it'll be 2nd down.
It's one of those balls where the quarterback wishes there was a string. The second it came out of his hand, he wished he could just pull it back, because from the moment it left his hand, that looked like a sure interception. And the only reason it wasn't because the defender just flat out dropped it.
Throwing on 2nd down. Stroud. And that'll go for a gain of 7. And it's going to set up 3rd down.
The drag route is certainly not the most complicated route on the route tree, but a really nice job there using the scheme to create separation. He did a really nice job there working across the middle of the field as he made himself open.
They'll come up to 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, C.J. Stroud. He's got his tight end. It's Schultz. His 2nd grab on this drive. Good for 11 yards, but most importantly, a first down.
Texans.
These 3rd down conversions are just so important, Mike. Everybody stresses we want to possess the ball, give our offense as much opportunity to end as many drives as we can, scoring points. So if you want to stay on the field, you better be good on 3rd down.
We'll try the right side with Marks. And that'll go for a gain of about 4. Truly to below 2. There for the tackle.
At the 41. 4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
From the 41, here's 2nd and 6. He'll go again with Marks. And he'll take this ahead for a gain of about 5. And here comes 3rd down.
At the 36-yard.
I think every running back's dream is that he's going to run through a wide open hole and have breakaway touchdowns, but that's not necessarily
necessarily the case very often in the NFL. So the backs that are the best are the ones that can get more yardage than maybe what's blocked for. And I think this is a nice physical gain here that they can continue to build off of as the game unfolds.
And he is going to have a Texans first down. At least at first glance, they'll spot the football just beyond the marker, and they convert on 3rd and inches. Kirk is the motion man. Out of the gun, they'll run with Marks. And he's able to push through the tacklers to pick up 6.
He was tackled at the 27-yard line. It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 3. Once again, it's Marks. And he'll get nothing here. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
There's very few defenses in today's NFL, Mike, that you can play the cornerback position and be unwilling to tackle. Those days are kind of over, so give credit to this guy. I mean, he identified run, he understood his leverage and gap fit, and he's able to bring him down for no gain.
This is caught 2. And they're going to get this all the way down inside the 5.
First and
it's
goal
a gain of 26, and
line.
it'll set up 1st and goal.
3rd downs, Mike, those are quarterback downs. Those are the downs where you tend to find yourself in a must-pass situation, and that's where the top guys in the league are still capable of overcoming it. So throw the ball downfield, be accurate with the ball. Winning on 3rd downs, that is a recipe for success.
Chubb. This defense backed up, but they bring the fire there. Stop him before he can get past the 3-yard line.
Brings up 2nd.
In these goal-to-go situations backed up on your own goal line, Mike, what they teach the defense is it's your job to establish a new line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what they did here. Watch the push they get. The offensive line goes backwards, and they take the ball carrier down for a loss.
And that is caught in the end zone. He's in. Christian Kirk. Touchdown, Houston. A terrific way to start this one. Not only a touchdown, but a nice long march down the field. Makes it a long walk back to the bench for the defense.
Mike, that's about as good as you can imagine starting a game offensively. To be able to sustain that many plays and be able to cap it off with a touchdown, that is a dream start for this offense.
Now Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. The kick is good. And the Texans will take a 7-0 lead.
7. Chargers nothing.
And so after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn to kick it off. The return starts from the 5. Now an opening past the 30. They finally get him down, but he gets all the way up close to the 40-yard line. So here come the Chargers, and it's year 6 and year 2 for Justin Herbert, Greg. It's year 2 with Jim Harbaugh, but the 6th season for the 6th overall pick in the 2020 draft.
You know, we all knew how talented Herbert was, especially coming out of school, and he's had a lot of great success in his first couple years, but it just seems like him and Harbaugh, doesn't it seem like they just have a great connection? They both understand each other, the strengths, the weaknesses, and he's really turned into a polished quarterback. Big number last year, 17 starts, only 3 interceptions.
12 yards on the game. That's good for a quick first down.
And the Chargers first down.
And these are the explosive runs that open everything up. There's all this conversation about the value of the run game, but when you take a look at the best running teams, Mike, it's not necessarily how many yards they run for, it's how many big plays do they generate on the ground. And when you can generate big plays on the ground, it makes everything so much more difficult for the defense.
That's another Chargers first down.
1 quarter in the books. It's the Texans who have the early lead. And we're back at SoFi in SoCal after this. It's the Chargers with the football to begin this second quarter from the 39. Here's a 1st and 10 as we are ready to get back underway. And he'll manage to bring this down to about the 37. It is Azeez Al-Shire with the stop.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 37-yard line.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Out of the gun, here's Herbert. That one complete to Johnston. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line. First time these two have connected this afternoon, and it'll wind up being a 1st down.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
I always think you can tell pretty quickly how comfortable a quarterback is in their offense, Mike, by how fast they work through their progression and get the ball to their check down underneath. And in this case, with the depth of the defense, a lot of space in the short game, get them the ball, pick up the 1st down.
On 1st down, it's Hampton. We'll get this right to the 20-yard line. Kamari Lassiter there on the stop.
A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 20-yard line.
They'll come up on a 2nd down and 8. Shotgun now for Herbert. He's got it at about the 8. And the last 1st and goal. He is down inside the 10-yard line.
And this has been a really nice answer so far to this game, Mike. I mean, you watch your opponent take the initial drive and go right down the field and score. And what are you going to do in response? What are you going to do when you get that ball back for the first time in your huddle? And tell you what, they've answered all those questions, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
They'll run with Hampton. And this one blown up. Good surge. Drop him. A loss on the play, back to the 9-yard line.
It's a loss of 1.
A loss was definitely not something they had accounted or budgeted for in this spot. And now, I think it really limits. What do you feel comfortable dialing up here on 2nd and goal?
From the gun, it's Herbert. He's got it at the 3. And he'll take this down to the 2, but a good tackle there. Going to set up 3rd and goal.
All right, so anytime you're facing the blitz, the best thing you can do as an offense is just get the ball out of your hand. Get into the hands of receiver, run after catch. In this case, nice job by the defense, rallying to the ball. Modest gain.
Herbert's pass. Brought down just shy.
These are the worst. I had a couple years, Mike, where I swear I got tackled inside the 1-yard line 10 times, and then you look back and you're like, man, how many touchdowns did I leave on the board because I couldn't get one more yard? Now, for him individually, not ideal, but right now they're on the doorstep of the end zone, and they got to find a way to put that ball across the goal line.
They're trying to answer that opening drive touchdown on the other side. So the offense stays out, and they go for it on 4th and goal. They'll go. It's Hampton. And he barrels his way into the end zone. Omarion Hampton. Touchdown, L.A.
And what a response by this offense. It's not easy taking the field, Mike, for the first time in the game, and you find yourself already down a score.
They watch their opponent kind of march down the field and score on the opening possession, and they're able now to go out and square it on up. Allows you to take a deep breath, maybe get a little confidence for your defense to go out and get a stop, and they come over with this extra point. We got ourselves a tie ball game.
Dicker good with the extra point. And the Chargers come right back to tie it at 7.
Cameron Dicker to kick
Each
off
team one
for the
possession,
Chargers.
each team a score. 7-7 as they kick it off. From the 6, here comes a return. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line.
Take over first and 10.
The Texans offense and Christian Kirk getting set for their next possession. They'll work in a tie game here in the second quarter and get started with first and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Stroud. Now he'll swing it out to his fullback. He'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
A gain of 4.
Well, not exactly a highlight reel type play, but in some cases, just checking the ball down to your fullback, picking up some positive yards is the only play that's to be made.
From the 31, here's 2nd and 6. On play action. Stroud. That's caught. And he's down inside the 40-yard line. It is a big-time play for Houston. 32 yards.
The Texans first down.
And it's hardly an exaggeration when I say, Mike, that he's probably one of the most difficult individual assignments in the entire league. It's like playing football against that really good kid in your neighborhood. He's just hard to cover, and plays like this, it just shows how special he can be.
Carry now for Morris. And he'll be taken down as we take down to the 2-minute warning.
The tackle made at the
2 minutes to
36-yard line.
First half,
A gain of a
all
yard.
tied at
Brings
7.
up second and
Greg and
9.
I return to SoFi Stadium. After a short break, it is 2nd and 9. From the gun, here's Stroud. Over the middle. He's got the tight end Schultz. And they will take him down at the 20-yard line.
A gain of 16 yards.
That's his 3rd catch of this first half,
Houston.
and good enough for a first down.
That last completion's going to go a long way towards at least finishing this 2-minute drive, Mike, with some points. You're already in field goal range, so now the idea is continue to work the clock down, take a couple shots at the end zone. You want to get points, ideally a touchdown, but either way, you have the ball last before the end of the second quarter. You can't fault the quarterback on this one, Mike. He really didn't even have much of an opportunity. By the time he hit the top of his drop and got his eyes downfield, the defense was all over him, and he really had no choice but to just get that ball out of his hand and live to play another snap.
A second down throw for Stroud. He'll get this complete over the middle with Kirk. And they'll have first and goal. He is down inside the 10-yard line.
Goal at the 8-yard line.
Man, they're just running this 2-minute drill to complete perfection. And it's such a point of emphasis of every offense, Mike. These end-of-half scenarios to come away stealing points make a big impact on the outcome of the game. And they're knocking on the door here, first and goal. At the very least, got to come away with some points.
Now Stroud. And he's going to be down close to the goal line. Good job defensively to make sure he did not get to the end zone.
Brings up
Now a timeout Chargers here. That's their second. And they'll get together prior to this second down play. They'll run with Chubb. And he is not going to get to the goal line. In fact, he's even going to lose yards on that play. And now it is 3rd and goal. Now off the bootleg, he'll look to throw here. It is brought in the end zone. Nico Collins. Touchdown, Texans.
And what a fitting end to this drive, Mike. It only makes sense that he's the one that gets the ball in the end zone after making a handful of clutch plays prior to the touchdown. That was just a textbook example of one guy taking over the game.
Now Fairbairn for the extra point. It's up and good. And the Texans will move out to a 14-7 lead.
Chargers 7.
Still a little time. Final minute of this first half. We'll see if they can do anything with this kickoff that is coming their way. This taken at the 5. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Chargers offense going to take over here in the last minute of this first half. They trail now 14-7 as they'll come up for 1st and 10. Now it's Herbert. He's got the hook up downfield with McConkey. And a big strike for good yardage there all the way up to midfield. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
To throw, it's Herbert. Throwing right. That's Johnston. He'll be out of bounds. Decent pickup of 5 on first down.
Certainly not the biggest play of the day, but a good example of picking up positive yardage, staying ahead of the chains by a well-timed ball and a well-timed route.
They'll come up now for 2nd down and 4. Throwing, Herbert. And he got rid of that one quickly before the receiver even knew what was going on. That's incomplete. Glad McConkey, the one he was looking for. And 3rd down coming up.
So as halftime looms, Mike, they have to find a way to capitalize on this drive right here and make sure they end the half with some sort of points. Now, that incompletion, not ideal, but at the very least, it stops the clock. Catch your breath, get back in the huddle, and this next play, it's got to be a gotta-have-it best play call. A little indecisive there, Mike. I thought he could have pulled the trigger a tad sooner. Instead, he just holds onto the ball a little too long. The windows close up and ultimately has no choice but to just simply throw the ball away.
Herbert gonna go on 4th down. That's taken in, and he's gonna have the first down. Aggressive call there. It works out as they convert on 4th down.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
So, halftime here out west. Let's send it east to Scott Hansen. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you for a quick halftime report. We'll let both sides catch their breath and get their orange wedges as we're going to get ready for the third quarter action. So let's go back out to the stadium as we rejoin our broadcast team, Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Scott, thank you. This is still anyone's game here. We'll see who can come out with a hot hand as the second half is about to get underway. Both teams ready to get back at it as we get back underway here on EA Sports. Here comes a return from the 5. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Chargers offense going to have a first crack at it as we begin this third quarter. They trail here by a touchdown as this drive will start with a first down. They'll start on the ground with Hampton. And not much there. Good defense. Held to no gain.
The best linebackers at this level, Mike, they have all the physical attributes. That's a given. But it's really their instincts. It's their ability to dissect and predetermine where the ball is going before the ball is even snapped. And you could see with how fast he met the back at the point of attack, he knew exactly what play was coming.
They'll set up the screen to Hampton. We'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to set up third down.
Just a little slow developing on that screen play there. It was pretty obvious to the entire defense exactly what was going on. Nobody was thinking pass. Nobody was getting back into their drops, and just nowhere for that back to go.
This is 3rd and 6. They're going to motion the tight end over here. Throwing is Herbert on 3rd down. They go sideline, and he stays in bounds. Got the feet down in time. It's a first down.
And the Chargers.
He's in a really nice rhythm here on 3rd down. He appears very comfortable operating out of the gun, and he's able to find his man near the sideline, and he's able to extend this drive.
On the handoff, it's Hampton. And he'll be stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
A corner who is not only a good tackler, Mike, but a willing tackler can be a huge asset to any defense. So often they get a bad rap. They're considered just pass defenders. They want to run around. But for a guy to be able to come up and force the run and keep this to no gain, man, that makes a big difference on any defense.
Catch made there by Allen. And a good job rallying to the football. Holding just a gain of a yard. Sets up 3rd down.
And 9.
This is one of those throws where you're hoping you do most of the damage after the catch, but give credit to the defense. Once that ball was caught, they were on him quickly, and there was nowhere for him to go after the catch.
Moving the tight end right. Throwing is Herbert on 3rd down. This one just too far for the receiver. Out in front of him. That one falls incomplete. Will Dissly, the intended target that time. And that's going to lead to a 4th down.
I think he predetermined that 3rd down throw, and even though the coverage was tight, he still tried to fit the ball in there anyway, and it ended up falling incomplete. I think if he goes through his progressions and has a little bit more trust in his protection, I think there's an easier throw to make out there.
There's Nico Collins and his Texans teammates getting set for their next possession. They lead by a touchdown as this drive begins with 1st and 10. On the ground is Marks. That'll open the drive. He'll try to push forward. He'll wind up getting 3 yards with that one. Tarheed still there for the stop.
It's a pickup of 3.
Nice job by the running back making the first guy miss, but it's the pursuit by the entire defense. Even though he doesn't get him down on his first try, the rest of his guys are all rallying to the ball, and they bring him down for a short gain.
On second down, Stroud. This one is caught by Kirk. And he's going to get this to the 37-yard line.
Christian Kirk.
Pickup of 11 yards on that one. First down for Houston.
You can see this connection is just starting really to pick up. They're seeing the game through the same set of eyes, and that is the job of the receiver. What is my quarterback expecting from me? Where does he want me? Be there on time, and it leads to big gains like this.
And a good job following his blockers. A gain of 7. It'll be second down.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the 45-yard line.
From the shotgun, C.J. Stroud. To the right side, and Kirk's got it. And we'll get him down after a gain of 5, but that is enough for a first down.
Gain of 6.
Similar to a tight end, the slot receiver is often considered the safety blanket. He makes all the difficult catches, tends to be a little bit more around the line of scrimmage, and so far today, he's certainly lived up to that reputation.
Give to Marks from the gun, and he'll be hauled down at about the 35-yard line.
Brought down at the
15-yard pickup there.
A gain of
It's good
15.
for a Texans first down.
Houston.
This is where you have to be careful, Mike. You find yourself winning in the second half. Human instinct says, all right, let's just sit on the ball and protect the lead and let the clock run out. You can't do that. Stay aggressive. Do what got you here. Continue to mix the run with the pass. Keep your foot on the gas and try to extend this lead.
Throws here down the field. It was ball incomplete. He was trying to get it to Christian Kirk. And it'll bring up second down.
They nearly connected on the big play downfield, but he's not quite able to hold on to that ball through the contact. You can chalk that one up as a win defensively.
They'll run for the first time with their fullback. And they'll only manage to pick up 3 yards. And that leads to third down.
A 3-yard gain on the play brings up third down.
Back to throw. Stroud. Taking off. He'll try to get there. A first down on the scramble. A gain of 16.
Tackle made at the 16-yard line. A gain of 16 yards. First down, Texans.
The defensive line has to do a better job of contain rushing, especially on third down, Mike. You can't rush one-on-one. You have to rush as a unit. Keep the quarterback in the pocket, and when you let him get loose, this is what's going to happen.
There he goes again. And nice work there. He'll go into a slide and gain about 7.
It's a gain of 7.
Take a look at his eyes. You can see the quarterback clearly going through all of his progressions, and he's quick to realize there's nowhere to go with this ball. He makes the right decision and gets out of there, picks up some good yardage, and gets down on the ground.
Kirk is the motion man. So we'll take it to the other end as we are through 3. Back with more after the break. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Here's a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. On second down, here's a run to begin the fourth quarter. And he is not going to get away. Might have gotten wide, but it will set up third down.
And with that run, Mike, even though it brings up third down, it still keeps this offense in what they call a 50-50 downs. It means with the down and distance provided, you can call a run or a pass, and both are equal threats, and that's what makes it so hard for these defenses to defend those situations.
But he goes nowhere. Call doesn't pan out. It's going to bring up fourth down.
It's now
Great job here by this linebacker, Mike. There was no reading and reacting. From the snap, he was attacking. Meets the ball carrier right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
So now it's Kaimi Fairbairn in a pressure situation. This to make it a two-possession lead. And this one right down the middle. It's good. And that could be big. They now take a 2-score advantage.
It's always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
Fairbairn, after making the field goal, it's back out to kick this one away. Here's Darius Davis to return it. And their drive will begin at the 30-yard line. So now here comes the Chargers as they get set to take over once more. They'll start it here with a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Herbert. He tosses over the middle. This one is caught. He's close to a 1st down. It's a gain of 9. Nice pitch and catch on 1st down.
A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1 at the 39-yard line.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 1. On the give, here's Hampton. And he'll have enough to move the chains. He'll take this forward for about 3 yards.
Well, here's where you really see the value of having a good run. 3rd and short, 4th and short. The ability to just keep it simple, win up front, turn around, hand the ball to your back, and to say, okay, more likely than not, we're going to get a fresh set of downs, maintain possession, and now continue to find opportunities to go generate points.
This one broken up. It's incomplete. The defender right there with him. It brings up 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 10.
All things considered, it's actually a pretty good pass. I mean, he puts the ball in a place where only his guy can catch it. But I think he hears those footsteps coming from that nearest defender, and he's not able to secure the catch through contact.
He'll swing this out to Hampton. And a good job rallying to the football. Holding just a gain of a yard and sets up 3rd down.
A gain of 1.
A bit of a quick hitter here, and what you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain.
3rd down and 9. Shotgun now for Herbert. This one down the field, but wind up incomplete. Quentin Johnston, the man he was looking for on that one.
4th down.
And it's going to lead to 4th down.
It's just so hard to be a good offense in the NFL, Mike, when you are not good on 3rd down. Your inability to extend drives, it either puts a lot of pressure on your coaches to be aggressive on 4th down or simply punt or take a field goal. You have to maintain possession and give you more cracks to score touchdowns.
And he's going to have the Chargers 1st down. Going to have it by plenty. Huge gainer on 4th down.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late. So I think as you look back over the course of this game, it's really been the inability of this offense, Mike, to create any sort of balanced attack to get anything going. And whether you look at the rushing yards, whether you look at just the points scored, this offense has to find a way going forward to generate more big plays and more balance offense, both run and pass. Really nice job here by the quarterback, understanding what did he need to pick up a fresh set of downs. In this case, that underneath drag route was all it took. Get the ball into the hands of your receiver, pick up a first down.
Throwing on first down is Herbert. Right side and hauled in by McConkey. And he's close to another first down. He's brought down just shy of the mark.
Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect.
He'll find Hampton out of the backfield. And this yields nothing. He's out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. Big play. 3rd and 2. They'll drop to throw. That is incomplete. And here we go. They're down to what could be their final play. It's 4th down.
By Jalen Petrie.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball. And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
Cameron Dicker
So
to kick
Dicker
off
back out after the field goal. He'll send this one away. This one taken at the 7. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25.
First and 10.
The Texans offense ready to get back at it. And this game not quite in hand yet. Still, all 3 timeouts left for the defense, so they can't just kneel this one out. But 1 first down will essentially end the game. Stroud going to set up to throw. Looking down the field there, but it falls incomplete.
We've already seen these two guys connect for a touchdown in this game, and had they been on the same page there, I think they would have been able to add to that total. Unfortunately for them, just a little bit off, and it falls incomplete.
We'll try again. It's 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Stroud. A short throw pulled in by Schultz. Now the Chargers will use the first of their timeouts. Talk things over before 3rd down.
And this is where the versatility of the tight end position really starts coming into play. Not only do they have to line up with their hand on the ground, but they can occasionally split out in the slot. And man, they're too fast for linebackers, and a lot of times they're too big for defensive backs.
This crowd into it now as we get to 3rd down. Stroud to throw. Got his man. It's Kirk. He'll get out of bounds. A gain of 8. That's going to be good enough for a first down.
9 yards.
Outbreaking routes, Mike, especially outside of the numbers, everything is about the timing. If you're late with the throw, you're going to be watching that defensive back take that thing the other way for 6.
Here's a handoff to Chubb. And he'll get him out 5. Now a timeout Chargers here. That's their 2nd. They will take it with just over 90 seconds
It's a pickup of 6.
left on the clock.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 43-yard line.
They'll work now on 2nd and 4. To throw, it's Stroud. And he gets that one complete to Collins. And they'll whistle him down, but not before he picks up a first down after a gain of 7.
8-yard pickup.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. And sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. But really nice job there by the quarterback, getting into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
Victory very much in sight now as they'll take a knee. Second and 11. So it's a win here for the Texans. They were the aggressors from the start, able to dictate the pace of play, and in the end, they come away with the victory. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.